Welcome back to the International Wealth Builders Radio Show with your host, Dr. Sharon Barnes. In our first segment, I was talking a little bit about how I got started focusing on accessory dwelling units, and I got kind of off on some of my passion and thoughts about why you should build an accessory dwelling unit. But I just want to introduce you to my company, which is ADU Advantage. And ADU Advantage, we serve as an education and resource hub to homeowners and investors who want to build accessory dwelling units, especially in the Inland Empire region. We know that the accessory dwelling unit laws are statewide. However, every city, every county, different areas and jurisdictions are interpreting the requirements differently. They're embracing the laws differently. And so the more local your consultant can be and your team, the better off we are to be able to complete an accessory dwelling unit project without delays and unexpected issues. So I am Dr. Sharon Barnes, CEO of ADU Advantage, and again, we provide consulting services for homeowners and investors, and we have service packages that can help. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you just need a little help, you have a few questions, you want to be able to pick up the phone and ask somebody for assistance to get you to the next step. We can do that all the way through having companies that can, we have partners that can take your idea of an ADU all the way through construction, whether it be modular or stick build. ADUs can be garage conversions, they can be modular structures, they can be ground up construction, and a variety of multifamily regulations are also out there so that you can leverage apartments and so forth. And so we are here to be that hub to help you put together that team, get the resources that you need to build your ADU. So whether you're a seasoned investor or a homeowner that's never built anything, we're here to help. So please connect with me online at aduadvantage.com. You can find our Facebook page on ADU Advantage. Find Dr. Sharon Barnes, ADU and real estate page on Facebook, and just search me out. DM me if you want to set up a meeting or look to have a partnership with helping our community build more accessory dwelling units. I would love to meet you and talk to you about how we can work together and how we can give more housing units here in the Inland Empire. Now I want to talk about the Revitalize program, which I mentioned earlier. And the Revitalize program basically has no fees, no interest, no credit check, and is available to help you sell your property. So a couple of my clients, we've used Revitalize. I love the program. I've seen a lot of benefits in it. I want to share some of those scenarios with you. But as it relates to accessory dwelling units, I'm finding that a lot of couples are building accessory dwelling units for their parents and for maybe their in-laws or some other family member. And in a lot of cases, when that is the goal, to build an accessory dwelling unit for the parents, it's usually a property that needs to be sold. Now, as a real estate professional, I'm searching the multiple listing services all the time for houses for clients, looking for deals for investors, and I see time and time again listed properties that says absolutely no repairs. Sellers not paying anything. They're not repairing anything, don't ask for any money or anything like that. And so, it's very hard because, life happens and there's different motivations that people have for putting their property on the market. And if you're building an accessory dwelling unit for your parents and your parents are selling their property, of course they want to get top dollar for their property because the more money they get off the sale, the lesser the burden is for paying for the accessory dwelling unit. And so with the Revitalize program, you can actually fix up the property. We have used the Revitalize program to take care of not only landscaping, plumbing issues, electrical issues, but you can take care of all that, change the floors, get it painted, and everything without any money up front. and it has resulted in getting a higher price for your property and basically paying for itself. And so I think it's a great opportunity. So a couple of ways I've used the program. I had a listing in Los Angeles, and we put it on the market, and the market was really at a frenzy at the time, and we immediately got an offer for an investor. But that investor wanted to basically bulldoze down the house and put up apartments. But the city had put a moratorium on demolishing houses and building multifamily on that block. So in LA, they started putting moratoriums block by block. So on that specific block, that developer could not implement his plan for another 2 years. So of course he backed out the offer. At that time, I would talk to my clients. They enrolled the property into the Revitalize program. And one of the first things that I usually recommend is for us to get a pre-sale inspection, which is similar to a home inspection, but without the buyers on behalf of the seller. So we got a pre-sale inspection. That inspection revealed that there was foundational problems. We had the floors were slanted. There were compliance issues with the plumbing and electrical being out of date. So what that ended up doing was actually giving my clients the information they needed to accept the fact that we had an investment property. When you have an investment property, you need to understand the return on investment, how the investors calculate the numbers, and you need to price and be willing to sell accordingly. And so that's what we did, and we were able to sell it within 2 weeks, and it got sold. Everybody knew what they were buying, they knew what the problem was, and it was a fair exchange based on the condition of the property. So that's one way it can be used. Now, getting a home inspection or a pre-sale inspection is a two-edged sword because as a realtor, I can tell you that when you get a pre-home inspection, it gives you a clear picture of the condition of your home. So there should be no surprises when someone does a home inspection. However, if you choose not to take care of some of the serious problems in that inspection, it will come out because you're required to share that report with the buyer once you get accepted offer. So it's a little two-edged sword. The other story I'll share with you that's totally on the opposite is that I went to take a listing in the city of Rialto, and my client, the seller, he wanted at least $500,000 for his house. Based on what I saw that day, I did not think that we could get it sold at that price. And so I told him why. We had a very frank discussion, and I told him that, 425 to 450 was where I would list the property at. And so we actually talked, and he wasn't happy, but he respected the information I was giving him, and he allowed me to list the property. And that day, I took the listing for $450,000. Now, he enrolled in the Revitalize program, and we went out and we got a home inspection, and we had a contractor come through and give us a bid. And the Revitalize program gave him $20,000 that we had available to fix up the house. So we put in new flooring, we painted, we did different things to make the house available to a buyer based on not only my suggestions, but verified by the contractor who walked through, who bidded the job, and based on the contractor's experience as to what would get the house sold. And so, with the $20,000 investment, we were able to sell that house for $550,000. We sold the house for $100,000 more than the original list price. Now, once they paid back that $20,000 out of escrow, that was a net of $80,000 that they benefited from, even more than what he had originally wanted for the property. So, knowing the condition of the property, fixing the water heaters, the electrical, putting in luxury vinyl flooring, painting, brightening up the place, taking care of landscaping, can make a big difference. And we know right now, with inflation, with the economic situation that we're in, a lot of people do not have money in their pockets to leverage, don't have the money in their pocket to leverage their home and fix it up to the level they need to get top dollar. And so this is an exclusive program for Caldwell Banker Realty. So if you are interested and you're interested in leasing the property with an agent like myself, you can reach out to me. And it's definitely available. As we say, no fees, no interest, no credit checks. Um, Also, the one other thing, it's great for investors. So we've had investors utilize it because we had one example was an investment property in the high desert, and it had an unexpected leak out in a plumbing issue, major plumbing issue, and it took the budget, it exhausted the budget unexpectedly for the investor, and they still had work to be done on the property. Did not want to go in for another loan or get an extension or anything. And so, what we were able to do by enrolling into the Revitalize program is that we had got a second opinion from a general contractor as to the things that he would do in the house and the price to get it sold. And so, they got another about $25,000 to go in, finish the rehab on the house, and with no money out their pocket, with no other loans or whatever. And they went and we were able to do that, and that house sold within 2 weeks again. Once the work is done, it's very the curve appeal and the enthusiasm. We do use professional photographs and professional marketing, and so that coupled with the work we put in was able to get that investor property sold so he can move on to his next project. And again, so if you're an investor or homeowner and interested in selling and need to get the property up to par so you can get the best value for your property, please reach out to me. Again, Dr. Sharon Barnes at aduadvantage.com. And we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Please stay tuned.